Obviously, you've been hearing me preach intangibles since day one, and I do think I'm a firm believer still that intangibles are the separators of success. You look at, like in Ermanni St. Brown, he's a talented player, but his intangibles are as good as it gets, and that's why he has the success that he has. And there's countless other players that I could name that to rattle off, but talent is one thing, but the intangible piece, the character piece, those are components. But it doesn't make up the whole picture in the totality of the evaluation.
Can talent
100%. I was covering Woodward Sports, yeah, but if it's the clip that I thought it was the one, because I screen recorded one too. When you speak about the high football character, did he mention that in there? It's about the football character.
It's talking about how character isn't the whole thing, and how talent is also important, and how you look at multiple different factors when you go into drafting a player. And it's not just talent that makes up the whole thing. It's the intangibles, obviously the work ethic he talked about, but he says that talent also plays a big factor in it.
Yeah, because I listened to that thing once on the way home last night, and then again on the way to work today. And the things I remember saying, or one of the takeaways I had was like, he said, talent's the easy part.
Mm-hmm. He said you can find talent anywhere.
Yeah, that's I'm confident in my talent evaluation. That's the easy part, but it's the intangibles. It's the characteristics of an Ermanni St. Brown.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to see has a little bit of talent, but the hard work, like the workmanship that comes with it, and that's when the term football character came along. And that's kind of like what you and I have been speaking about, is like initially when they said we want to bring people that match our culture, and we hear that, and when having a Jim Caldwell here before, we think of like a goody two shoes, or like just good guys. But that's it's specifically football character.
Yes.
And that's the competitiveness that we talk about. That's that nastiness, that's that grit, and that's the term was last year. It's villain this year, but that's what they're looking for, is that football character. And obviously that question was asked in a roundabout way about Jalen Carter.
Yes.
Now, having heard what Brad Holmes said, and knowing they're meeting with him, was that today or just scheduled?
It's just scheduled.
What is your...
I still think they're getting Jalen Carter. I do. I think, obviously, he's one of the best players in the draft. He's rated as a top 3 prospect in this draft. He's going to fall down to them at 6. And if it's there, it's your biggest position of need, you grab him. And Dan Campbell also talked about meeting with one of Jalen Carter's teammates today, and talking with one of Jalen Carter's teammates today. And he said he told them some things that they didn't know and you wouldn't hear from anybody else. Mm-hmm. And he said they're interesting, and when asked what that means, this is from Jeremy Reisman, put this up on Twitter. He said, is that good or bad? And Dan Campbell just said interesting.
Yeah.
So these guys, bro, are just keeping everything close to the chest. Like, it's impressive to see an actually functioning front office work.